What's going on, my YouTube family, and what's happening with my YouTube savages? I hope each and every single one of you guys are having an absolutely amazing, blessed, beautiful, and divine Monday so far, guys. I am not complaining about the way that my Monday went whatsoever, guys. Literally, it is gorgeous out here again, out here in Canton, Ohio. Just as beautiful as yesterday. Maybe yesterday was a tad bit warmer, but this late in the year, guys, you absolutely cannot complain. Savage out here trying to soak it up as much as humanly possible. Just got back from the track, guys. Got my 2 miles in for the day. So what more can I say, guys? I'm ready to get all up into this one. We're about to have a nice chill little session. But before I even get all up into that, quick disclaimer for the YouTube community guidelines. Nobody featured in this video or any of my videos is under the age of 21 and or holds their Ohio licensed medical marijuana card through the state of Ohio. There are no minors featured in any of my videos, guys. Not now, not literally ever. And all the content that I do upload to the channel for you savages is for educational and entertainment purposes only. Now that we got that beat up and busted right on out the way, drop it in the comments what you guys are about to be puffing on during the course of tonight's video. I absolutely always love seeing that. And drop it in the comments what you guys would like to see me do a review on next, man. If any of you savages enjoyed this video, hit it with a big fat thumbs up. That helps the channel out as a whole more than you guys could possibly imagine, man. The more likes we get on these videos, the more that YouTube's algorithm actually decides to circulate the content around to people who have never seen the channel before. So we get some potential new savages to join that savage army, and there ain't never nothing wrong with that, guys. Am I right? And if any of you savages dislike this video, go ahead and hit it with a big fat thumbs down and drop it in the comments why you guys disliked it and what you would like to see me do better in the next video. Alright, guys, and in terms of what I have twisted up for you savages tonight, a little bit of a salad joint situation. I've got some of the Intergalactic Sensei from GTI twisted up in here, and then I've got the rest of the Blue OG that I had left over from yesterday. Guys, that stuff is some absolute freaking gas. Every doobie that I actually smoked of the stuff, I literally felt like taking a nap afterwards, and for flower to do that to me and have those type of effects, it must be pretty good, because most of the time, guys, I could smoke all day long and not have to worry about getting tired. That Blue OG had your boy, though. You know what? Screw it, guys. We're about to box the shed. I've actually had this cleaned out for a little while. This was planned. I planned on it to be the new spot for me to record videos in, but I do plan on painting the room, making it look a little bit nicer, guys. Getting some audio set up in here, a microphone, as well as soundproofing the walls. It should be absolutely awesome by the end of the year, guys. Please bear with me. But for now, let's just go ahead and box this puppy right on out. And while we're sitting here roasting on this doobie tonight, guys, I might as well talk to you guys a little bit about some of my favorite strains in the program. It's a question that I am asked frequently, and sometimes it catches me off guard, guys, and I have to sit there and think about it a little bit. But off the top of my head, I'm pretty sure I could give you guys some of my favorite strains since I got into Ohio's medical program, which is a little over 2 years now, guys. About 2.5 years I've been in this program, and it really hasn't disappointed me too much, at least in terms of quality. The price point on some of the stuff and the weight is a whole nother story, guys, but the price hasn't always been a problem, honestly, not until recently with this wreck. Scratch that, guys. Actually, when I first did get my medical card, the prices were a little bit whacked out at that point in time too, but it didn't last very long. I do remember shortly after getting my med card for the first time, a lot of the prices starting to come down, and they stayed there for a good minute, which is most likely why I ended up getting spoiled when it came to the price points on a lot of the stuff in our program. Cheers, guys, and drop it in the comments where you guys just sparked up as well. Let's get it. Man, and I just lit that puppy up. We are already starting to get a ring forming. I absolutely love it. And both of these strains on their own kind of exhibited the same level of quality. The Blue OG lit up just like that. And I remember the Intergalactic Sensei. Check the review if you guys haven't checked that out yet. The Khalifa Kush Cross. Chefity kiss, guys. Both of them exhibited absolutely sexy burns. So mixed together, I'm sure this is going to be an absolutely amazing smoke. And right off the top of my head, some of my favorite strains in Ohio's medical program. The one that came to my head literally first, guys, Ice Cream Cake by Clutch Cannabis. Ever since I first tried that strain, I've literally fallen in love with it. It was the strain that I got gifted to me on my most recent birthday from Clutch Cannabis, which was absolutely insane, guys. I remember on the way to work that day, I literally almost dropped a little savage tear. That's how happy I was at that point in time, guys. I just couldn't believe it. I have had Ice Cream Cake from many different growers in the past, but there is something about the ICC from Clutch Cannabis, guys. just chefity kiss all the way around. The flavor, the burn on that stuff, and the effect, some very nice indica dominant flower, guys, which is interesting because what I've noticed lately is if I'm smoking on something indica dominant, it has to be very good in terms of quality, like for me to be satisfied by the end of the doobie smoking it and to be getting the effects that I kind of anticipate from smoking an indica dominant strain out of our medical program. ICC from Clutch Cannabis is one of the only strains that comes to mind instantly that checks pretty much every single box. The flower itself, pretty as F, almost exclusively dark purple and dark green. Absolutely love it. Very sticky every time that I've ever had any batch from that company. Absolutely almost perfect in terms of the structure of the flower itself, guys. And the last jar that I got from them, guys, I remember pulling out the biggest nugget of that strain that I've ever seen from that company. It was an absolute treat, guys. So first one, off the top of my head, ice cream cake from Clutch Cannabis. Quick, guys. Flavor on this puppy right here, it's burning like an absolute dream. We're getting almost 100% white ash. It's a little bit peppery, not too peppery though, definitely nothing to complain about in that resin ring. Let's go to the flavor though, because the flavor is stupid. I'm getting some heavy gas right now, heavy gas. Along with some of that pininess from the Intergalactic Sensei. That is a very, very piney Kush cross, guys. And I've never had Khalifa Kush on its own. So if any of you guys have, drop it in the comments. Is Khalifa Kush like a really, really piney OG? Because that's translating into that Intergalactic Sensei like nobody's business, guys. That might be the best burning stuff that I've got from GTI so far, guys. It literally burns pretty much top shelf. It's absolutely exquisite. Since we're on the topic of Clutch Cannabis, guys, two more strains come to mind almost immediately, and that's going to be the Jealousy and the Lemon Cherry Gelato. Now listen, guys, the reason that I like Lemon Cherry Gelato so much isn't the look of the stuff. It's not even the flavor of the stuff, but Clutch's cut of LCG is very, very terpy. It's the effect, guys. Every single time, if I was to sit here and just go off the top of my mind and think of some of the strongest stuff from Clutch Cannabis, like in terms of just recent memory, guys, I have never been disappointed with their cut of Lemon Cherry Gelato. Hits me like a really, really strong sativa dominant strain, guys. All up here in the head. It's one of the only strains that I can remember getting out of our med program. Off the top of my head anyway, Savages, if I took some time to sit down, think for about an hour or so and really write out everything that I like a lot in the program, list might look a little bit different. But right now, we're just kind of going off the cuff, guys, and their cut of LCG is fire. Every single time I've had it, even the Luster Pod version, the full spec oil specifically, get smacked off 2 to 3 rips off that puppy, guys, and I literally get baked as F every time that I get that one. Cross over to Jealousy, which is an indica dominant strain. By the way, guys, LCG from Clutch is hybrid dominant technically, but it definitely feels like a sativa all day long. Gives you those almost stuck, slightly paranoiish feelings that I used to feel off smoking sativas when I was a youngster all the time. Something that's kind of more rare, it seems like these days. I've even had sativas out of our program, guys, that made me feel like catching a nap afterwards, which is just crazy to me. Usually indicas would be doing that, right? Now moving on over to the Jealousy, guys. Jealousy, ever since the first time that I had it, even though, in my humble opinion, it hasn't been as good recently as it was when I first tried this stuff like a couple of years ago, still absolutely freaking amazing in terms of the flavor, look, and effect. When you when you think about the flavor of Jealousy, guys, first off, it's one of the strains that's crossed in permanent marker. If any of you guys weren't aware, that's where the funkiness usually comes in on the permanent marker. Well, some of it, a little bit coming in from that Biscotti, guys. Sherb BX is known to be a tad bit funky as well, but in my humble opinion, and of the crosses that I've tried personally, Jealousy is one of the most dominating flavors on the permanent marker, and for good reason. That stuff absolutely smacks, guys. It's a little bit unfortunate, in my opinion, when I first started smoking on that stuff from Clutch. The biggest reason that I loved it, guys, is because it had a certain effect to it that I don't get from it anymore, and I definitely haven't had from anything else since. I almost said like maybe one or two, no, anything else, guys, and I remember it like it was yesterday now. But the first couple jars of Jealousy from Clutch that I had, it was when I was with one of my ex-girlfriends, guys, and I am confident in saying this because back then she even felt the same exact way. But we would smoke a doobie of that stuff, guys, and it literally made me feel like I was walking on air. Like I almost took like a freaking Xanax or something, or was drinking slightly, guys. Absolutely crazy. I've had indicas that make you feel slightly weightless, but nothing like that. And it happened on 2 jars back to back, guys. So we went through almost a quarter and had the same exact effect off of the entire quarter smoking that stuff, guys. But since then, it hasn't been quite the same, unfortunately. But I remember getting up like off the couch after smoking a joint of the Jealousy a couple of years ago, and my legs literally felt like they fell right from underneath of me, like I didn't even have legs anymore, guys. That's the type of weightless that I was feeling off of that stuff. This is smoking right here, Savages, and this is my first smoke of the day. Hit myself with a little tolerance fix on this fine Monday. I definitely felt like I needed it. I was roasting quite heavily all weekend. Me and Mrs. Savage had a pretty decent chill weekend. We're marathoning some Harry Potter, man. The fall vibes coming in full effect in a couple of weeks. Is going to be Halloween. Still not sure what I'm going to dress up as, guys. I might even hit you guys with a fun little Halloween video. If you guys would like to see something like that, go ahead and drop it down in the comments and let the Savage know. But alright, let's move off of Clutch Cannabis a little bit, even though we all know that that is my #1 company or brand, so to speak, out here in Ohio's Med program. There is still plenty of stuff besides them that I do enjoy heavily, guys. Let's move on to Buckeye Relief. They have some of my favorite sativas in the program as a whole. When you talk about the Sour Blue Diesel, first off, Sour Diesel is one of my favorite strains of all time, let alone sativas of all time. And their cut of the Sour Blue Diesel, to me, is pretty much timeless. It's classic, guys. The only complaint, I wish it was cured a little bit less time so it didn't come out quite as dry. But even for the time that they spend curing that stuff, it still comes out of that jar absolutely freaking fire. Some of the only flower Buckeye Relief, mind you guys, and I have no shame in saying this, by the way. One of the only companies... Now I'm kind of losing my train of thought. Sheesh. I'll just say it like this. Some of the only flower on God's green earth that could be dry and still be terpy as a mother effer, smoking it out of a paper or just out of a bowl, out of a bong, anything. But you guys know me. You're definitely getting the best flavor out of either a paper or an herbal vaporizer. And since we don't really do herbal vapes at the moment, it's going to be a paper. And that is some of the only flower that I could see dry, not sticky almost slightly whatsoever. And I've definitely had plenty of tents from that company that exhibited flower just like that, guys. Literally pretty much no stickiness to it whatsoever and still smoke pretty damn nice out of a paper. Not too harsh, great flavor. Pretty good burn. I'm going to say that their burn isn't like the best, sexiest ash that I've ever seen in my God-given life, because it's definitely not. But for how dry some of it is at times, guys, it is kind of a shocker. So there we go. The Sour Blue Diesel from Buckeye Relief. Moving on to Pure Ohio Wellness, I have to shout out their gelato, guys. I am not even all that big into gelato. At least I wasn't until I tried Pure Ohio Wellness's cut. Absolutely freaking delicious, guys. And back when I tried it for the first time, it used to be like budget pack in our program. Stuff that didn't cost too much whatsoever, but smoked phenomenally, guys. Very nice velvety creaminess on the flavor of their gelato. Delicious, actually, guys. And I don't feel like I would ever get tired of that cut of gelato, guys. Before I tried that, I wasn't really digging the hype train on gelato all like that. And then I tried their gelato. Just compared to Meigs County's baseline gelato, guys, smacks that stuff literally right out of the water. And if any of you savages have tried Meigs' version of that strain, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Literally so bland, almost has no flavor or terp whatsoever. Pretty looking flower, guys. It might be prettier than Pure Ohio Wellness's flower, but the smoke itself smacks that stuff literally right out of the water, guys. I'm starting to get pretty freaking baked here, guys. Almost down to the last quarter of this J. Let's go ahead and take some Savage baseball hits. Moving on to a couple honorable mentions, guys. Right off the top of my head, something that I want to recommend, just not in the regards of some of those other strains, Willie's Reserve Raspberry Parfait, guys. The sativa dominant raspberry parfait from Buckeye Relief's Willie's Reserve line, which is Willie Nelson's own brand and line of flower. First off, is that not absolutely amazing? And by the way, everything on the Willie's Reserve side of things, I have actually personally liked. I have yet to try one strain from that line of flower that I haven't thought was at least well above average. Not all of it tippy top shelf, but all of it so far, chefity kiss, guys. My favorite from them, I might have to say the Willie's Reserve Strawberry Cheesecake. Also, one of the very first things I tried out of our program as a whole, so maybe nostalgia has something to play in that, guys. But the Granddaddy Purple Cross, and when I first tried it, it actually tasted like real cheesecake, guys. The last time I tried it, the most recent time, which was a few months ago, it didn't taste quite as good as it did back then. It literally used to taste like one of my favorite desserts of all time. I freaking love cheesecake, guys, minus the strawberry, but nevertheless, still had that like almost savory, creamy, oh, guys, absolutely freaking dank as well when you get that Granddaddy Purple coming in, a little bit of gas, a little bit of earthiness. Oh, chef's kiss. I haven't had it in some time though, guys. I really need to circle back around to that one. Ever since they raised the price on everything, there were certain things that I just decided to kind of leave alone. But that's pretty much a thing of the past, guys. I was scouring the menu yesterday, and I was pleased, man. I was honestly pleasantly surprised by some of the prices coming down like they have. Not to mention all the promotions and deals that they've been having at all my local dispensaries lately, guys. The Botanist, for one, pretty much a sale every single day of the week, guys. Yesterday, it was 20% off every single brand of flower in the entire store. Sheesh. Anyway, guys, the Raspberry Parfait, I'm getting way off topic now, and you see the eye nuggets? I'm starting to freaking feel faded. Absolutely, man, this one's starting to hit me. Whew. Crossing those two together, the Blue OG is absolutely fire on its own. I like the Intergalactic Sensei quite a bit, but sheesh. But yeah, one of the only sativas in the program that gives me the feeling that I used to have when I smoked weed off of the street before I ever tried anything out of a medical store. A specific feeling from certain strains that it just gave me the feeling of like immobilization, guys. Like a Raspberry Parfait, when I smoked on that stuff, and I've had several jars of it now, guys, honestly, recently it seemed to be testing out a lot stronger than it did in the past, almost up into like 29% THC. Every time that I've had it, it was really closer to like 22, 23% THC. I need to circle back around to quite a few things in the program, get through the Raspberry Parfait Savage. Holy crap, man. Anyway, it definitely gives you a good stuck sativa type feeling in the entire body, not just up here in the mind from what I remember, guys, but that is one of the budget flowers I used to smoke on the regular. In a pinch, guys, I used to have a couple different strains that were really good for that before recreational hit and all that stuff. Used to be able to get certain things from Buckeye Relief, guys, for like 15, 16 bucks plus tax. Under 20 bucks, you're getting a tenth of something pretty damn good, honestly, guys. While I wouldn't consider Buckeye Relief top shelf, it's almost hitting it just on consistency basis alone. If their stuff was more consistently fresh, they'd be a freaking killer in the streets, man. But yeah, Savages, there you go, man. We've pretty much dusted this doobie out. Just a chill little Savage session for you guys, man. I had a pretty good Monday all in all. I will see you guys in the next one. Before we deuce out of here, though, I hope you guys have an absolutely beautiful, and absolutely blessed, and an absolutely freaking savage rest of your night. I love each and every single one of you guys. You are the best, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace. Yeah, I'm faded.